This is probably one of the least appreciated organizations. We're tagged as, the pro-growth people, and we're in an anti-growth environment.
We're more than that.
Everybody should know about this group.
They're an incredibly passionate group of individuals.
Trying to drive economic success while keeping a balance of, the environment and the community.
This organization was formed to create a dam that provides water for this entire county, and there was huge opposition for this.
The Warm Springs Dam became a battleground during the 1970s, and the Alliance certainly joined that battle. The Board of Supervisors and the local cities decided that growth was great for Sonoma County, and subdivisions sprang up all over, and ag land was divided into little rural ranchettes. And there's a lot of people that thought we were becoming another San Jose. Those people hated the Warm Springs Dam. They thought it would literally open the floodgates to unbridled growth.
This organization took a real leadership role in getting Warm Springs Dam approved by the voter.
And so the battle was waged. There were two measures on the ballot. The dam barely escaped.
It took some vision, some guts, and some hard work on their part in order to make that happen.
Had the Alliance not been formed to get Warm Springs Dam built and Lake Sonoma that's behind it, we would be in desperate water shortage situation. And thank God we're not.
And as a young engineer, I saw this formation of this group, Sonoma County Alliance, and I didn't know what it was, trying to figure out what it was.
We helped start the Alliance back in '75 or so.
The early years of the Alliance was pretty much a builder, developer, growth group, if you will, of people who were providing housing and shelter for people.
When I came on in '81, they were still kind of glowing in the victory of the campaign, but knew that they needed to do more.
We started having some meetings with inviting the different special interest groups, such as the Farm Bureau,
Northwest Builders Exchange, the Building Industry Association,
engineering contractors,
the realtors, the taxpayers,
the Laborers Council as our initial members.
And they came together because they were really concerned about water supply and the economy in Sonoma County, and they were very successful. They said, we function pretty well as a coalition of organizations, and we should continue to work collaboratively, and that's really how it began.
The community has changed so much since 1975. It was a pretty growth-oriented community at that time. Although those of us that were here that wanted to see faster growth, we still thought it was too slow.
The motto of the Alliance has always been, a healthy environment depends upon a healthy economy. And so the economy has always been at the core of everything that they do.
At that time in '82, we were just starting to get pressured by urban growth boundaries. The Greenbelt Alliance was very active in Sonoma County, and they wanted to form urban growth boundaries around every community in town.
You can't just sprawl out and leave the urban core barren.
We wanted to be really sure there was enough room for the growth within those boundaries, and the Alliance spent a lot of time on that.
We started the first political action committee in the early '80s.
SCAPAC was an extremely effective and aggressive organization.
There's always been a strong focus on making sure that we have a healthy economy. And one of the ways of doing that is making sure that we are supporting local candidates that have that same type of a mindset and understand the importance of the balance of a good economy, a good environment.
Each year we try to select some elected representatives that understand the value of the business community. That's the community that provides funding for social programs, environmental programs, and continues to make this a very desirable place to live.
Everything that happens politically in Sonoma County affects my business to some degree. If the businesses don't show up, it's easier for those politicians to make the decisions not in our favor. So if we are involved with those politicians, they'll have the ability to contact us and get our perspective.
We live in an incredible place. Sonoma County is absolutely gorgeous. It's a very desirous place to live. But as great as it is, it faces challenges as each one of us look at it and try to preserve what's really strong about it.
We were actually the first business group that supported urban growth boundaries. I think all we asked for from a realistic standpoint was, let's know the rules.
At that time, the Alliance through the media was really portrayed as the developers organization and portrayed as being an organization that was only interested in pro-development and turning Sonoma County, our beautiful Sonoma County, into the next San Jose.
Every time we were mentioned in the media or by other groups that felt it was an us versus them kind of a standoff on certain issues, we were always the pro-development group.
But I knew that the Alliance was a much more diverse organization, but we were just being portrayed differently through the media.
There became two polarizing groups, and they said business was evil and there was environmental, and I never believed that that's the way it should be.
It was a time where it was between them and us. It was one where it was the environmentalists and the business people, and there was very little trust and communication that was going on.
The county was actually looking at selling the landfill to an outside company, and there were several people in the community that felt that was an asset to the county, that it shouldn't be sold. I watched basically 3 years of work that the County Board of Supervisors had done behind the scenes all fall apart in one afternoon at a public hearing when the environmental community came out and spoke against the project. I went to Paul and I said, you know, we need to talk to the environmental community. We need to get together and find a solution. And he said to me, basically, good luck, Marlene, you know, that's never happened. And I spoke pretty passionately about how we needed to join the business community with the environmental community. And they told me to run with it.
It's the beginning of really the true alliance of Sonoma County, where the business and the environmental started working together.
And that started pretty much a partnership between the environmental community and the Sonoma County Alliance to make sure that there was a solution that was local, that our garbage wasn't hauled out of the county.
Our primary issues that we've been involved in are water and transportation. Highway 101 expansion over the last 20 years. Now that is towards the tail end of completion, we're working more on the local roads issue. The Alliance was a big supporter of getting the SMART train passed by the voters. And certainly the airport. Air transportation is just as vital economically to our community.
Well, historically, we've been the only folks who can bring all facets to the table. And by all facets, I mean not only just the business community, but really the environmental community, and sit down and have intelligent dialogue on issues that are pertinent to all citizens of Sonoma County.
It's the only organization in Sonoma County that I'm aware of, in fact one of the few in California that I'm aware of, that actually puts together all the organizations that have influence in the community, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, the Ag community, the Farm Bureau, the Building Association, and a number of the unions. And that alliance, which is why it's called the Alliance, is very unusual, and because of that it has a lot of strength, and it gets the attention of office holders, it gets the attention of the public, both in terms of business leadership and also community leaders. And it's a great organization that I'm proud of.
A lot of times people are either in the group where they're comfortable with the mindset of that group, and so they don't, you know, make their statement. But here with the Alliance, you can make the statement of how you believe, you can offer your support, people will listen to it, take it in, whether they agree with it or not is not the purpose. I think it's just to, you know, thought evolution, if you will.
Sonoma County Alliance is truly unique in my experience. There are few communities where the diverse group of labor, nonprofits, and business all get together and actually work together and do meaningful work together.
We can't chase uneconomic positions and crazy positions, and the Alliance has done a wonderful job of that over the years.
Everybody asks, you know, if there's any political question, where's the Alliance? Where do they stand? Because there's so many people in this organization.
We need to operate with integrity, and we need to be leaders, and we need to own the stewardship of this beautiful county that we have.
There's people from different walks of the community that may not sit down normally, that'll sit down and talk things through and hopefully and usually find common ground.
There is a common thread throughout the Alliance that has a commitment to the long-term vitality of Sonoma County in spite of all of the opposition to anything that anybody ever wants to do.
People wanted the mining out of the river and into quarries. And that was really the biggest hurdle that we had to fight. Try to get a group of people that would be working together or agree to work together as an alliance.
Never before had the Board of Supervisors or any city council ever seen a turnout in membership in support of various initiatives than they had previously. We would have in excess of 150 of our membership at the Board of Supervisors meeting when the critical votes were up to be counted.
In the 40 years, they've really kept their eye on the ball.
I proposed that we have an environmental committee as a part of the Alliance. It was not well received, so I think I was kind of booed out of the room, in fact. A few weeks later, Bob Blanchard called me up and said, Ivor, that was the best idea that came up in the meeting, and sometimes ideas need to germinate for a while.
The Alliance is not afraid to talk about issues that are kind of elephants in a room. We'll put it out there and we talk about it. And I think that when you forget about issues and you don't talk about them or they never are addressed, they become worse. So we're good about saying, no, this is an issue and we need to tackle it.
It's not just taking a position, but we study and we interview and we really do take to heart the issues that face our community.
Providing that forum for the discussion.
I think we have an amazing history. The impact that the Alliance has had on transportation and water in Sonoma County that's been significant. The fact that we have water right now in this drought is due in large part to the Sonoma County Alliance.
Through the efforts of the Alliance and the general community, as the saying goes, we got her done.
Pass all of this on to future generations that don't believe it's all about here and now, that have the fortitude to do something.